The Knicks take on the Magic, 7 p.m. Eastern start time. New York's minus 4.5 on the road. Numbers 210. If you like the Magic in an upset at home here, they're plus 160 on the money line. Now we're 3-1 in our last 4 NBA tier membership plays on my website. We're also 8-2 in our last 10 $1.99 daily best plays on that website as well. Now Orlando's lost 8 out of their last 10 ball games. Only 30% against the number in those 10 outings. Gordon and Anthony are still out, no changes there. Meanwhile, Aminu, Ennis, and Fournier are listed as questionable. Orlando's won 5 of 13 at the Amway Center this season, and they rank dead last in home scoring. The Magic's actually averaging a piddly 104 points a game as the home team. They're taking on a hot New York squad who's currently on a 3-game winning streak, 6-1 against the spread in their last 7. Now the Knicks lead the NBA in points allowed and defending the 3-ball. Julius Randle scoring 23 a game, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. Meanwhile, R.J. Barrett scoring 16 a night himself. Both players, along with Elfrid Payton, have started in all of 29 of New York's ball games this season here. The Knicks are giving up just 102 points a night when they travel, and they're holding their opponents to just 30% shooting from beyond the arc. Now, total-wise, 4 out of New York's last 6 ball games stayed under the number, throwing out the Atlanta contest. The Knicks are also 12-4 to the under in their 16 road games. Meanwhile, Orlando saw 4 out of their last 5 stay under the line themselves, 8-5 to the under on their home court. I'm going to lean toward the New York Knicks minus 4.5 and the under 210. Next contest, it is going to be Hawks versus the Celtics, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. The Boston Celtics are minus 3 with a total at 224. Despite going into the second of a back-to-back here this evening, Boston has won 7 of 11 at the Garden this season. They cover the number 73% of the time there. Boston's in the top 10 in home defensive rebounding, and they give up just 106 points a game on their home court. Jaylen Brown's getting 26 a night for Boston, 5 rebounds, 4 assists for the shooting guard. Meanwhile, Jason Tatum scoring over 25 a game himself, along with 7 boards and 4 assists as well. They're taking on a struggling Atlanta squad who went just 1-7 straight up in their last 8. And they also failed to cover the point spread in 75% of those ball games. Rondo's out. Snell and Dunn are questionable. Atlanta's dropped 9 out of their last 10 meetings with the Celtics, and they rank in the bottom 10 in the NBA in shooting the 3-ball. Now, total-wise, when it comes to the scoring in this one, Atlanta's last 5 straight all got over the line. They were also 60% to the over in their last 10 meetings with the Celtics. Meanwhile, Boston on the other side went 4-3 to the over in their last 7, throwing out the Denver game. I'm going to lean toward the Boston Celtics minus 3 in the over 224. Next matchup I have for you, it is going to be Rockets versus the Sixers, 7:30 p.m. Eastern start time in Philly. The Sixers are minus 11, numbers 226. Despite hitting a little bit of a rough patch on the road here recently, the Sixers are still winning 85% of their home games, and they went 9-4 against the number in those contests. Now, Philadelphia is in the top 3 in home scoring, top 3 in home offensive field goal percentage. Joel Embiid scoring nearly 30 a game, along with 10 rebounds and a couple assists. Meanwhile, Tobias Harris is scoring over 20 a night himself, along with 7 boards and 3 assists as well. Philadelphia ranks in the top 5 in home defensive rebounding as well. They're taking on a struggling Houston squad who's currently on a 6-game losing streak right now, and they failed to cover the point spread in 7 out of their last 8. Gordon and Oladipo are doubtful. Tucker's questionable. The Rockets have won just 6 of 16 away from home this year, and they rank in the bottom 10 in the association in scoring. Now, total-wise, when it comes to the number in this one, Houston's last 2 straight got over the number, 3-1 to the over in their last 4. Meanwhile, the Sixers saw their last 3 straight get over the line themselves, 6-2 to the over in their last 8. I'm going to lean toward The Philadelphia 76ers minus 11 in the over 226. All right, next contest I have for you, it is going to be Pistons versus the Bulls. 8 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Chicago. The Bulls are minus 3.5, totals 221. And if you like the Pistons in an upset on the road here, they're plus $1.40 to win it outright. Now, the Pistons are just 2-11 straight up on the road this season. They rank dead last in road offensive rebounding. The Pistons are also dead last in road defensive field goal percentage, and they may have to go to work tonight here without Blake Griffin. I believe they're going to trade him. Might actually be trading him today. That's the kind of the rumor mill there surrounding Blake Griffin. But regardless, they're taking on a Chicago team who won 2 out of their last 3. And they rank in the top 10 in the NBA in scoring on average per game. Zach LaVine scoring 28 points a game along with 5 boards and 5 assists. Meanwhile, Kobe White scoring nearly 16 a night himself along with 4 rebounds and 5 assists as well. The Bulls are in the top 10 in offensive field goal percentage, top 10 in shooting the 3-ball. And when it comes to the number in this one, Chicago's last 3 straight all got over the posted total, 15-11 to the over for the entire season. Meanwhile, the Pistons are 9-4 to the over when they travel themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Chicago Bulls, minus 3.5, and the over 221. All right, next ball game I have for you. It is going to be Nuggets versus the Wizards, 8 p.m. East. The Nuggets are minus 3, totals 231 flat. And if you like the Wizards in an upset victory at home, they're plus $1.30 for some money line cash. The Wizards have been victorious in just 4 of 13 at the Capital One Arena. They're dead last in the NBA in home points allowed, bottom 3 in home defensive rebounding. Now they're taking on a Denver squad who won 3 out of their last 4 themselves, and they currently have a winning record on the road as well. The Nuggets currently average 115 points a night, and they're also in the top 10 defensively in points allowed. Nikola Jokic is scoring 27 a game along with 11 boards and 8 assists. Meanwhile, Jamal Murray is scoring nearly 19 a game himself, certainly been productive offensively, along with 4 boards and 4 assists as well. Now, total-wise, Denver went 6-3 to the over in their last 9 contests. They're also 9-4 to the over when they travel. Meanwhile, the Washington Wizards, on the other side of things, they are currently 9-4 to the over on their home court themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Denver Nuggets, minus 3, and the over 231. All right, next matchup. It is going to be, is this our next and final matchup? I believe so, because we got a bunch of games that are premium selections. Anyway, Blazers versus the Pelicans, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The Pelicans are minus 3, totals 236.5. But despite a big game last night out of this New Orleans squad, the Pelicans have still failed to cover the number in 3 out of their last 4 ball games, and they posted just 1 victory during that span. Now, New Orleans is in the bottom 3 in defending the 3-ball, and they allow almost 115 points per contest. They also might have to go to work without Steven Adams, as he's currently listed as questionable with a back injury. They're taking on a red-hot Portland squad who's won their last 5 straight, and they also went 8-2 against the number in their last 10. Portland's in the top 5 in road scoring, top 5 in three-point percentage. Damian Lillard scoring nearly 30 a game along with 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Meanwhile, Gary Trent Jr. is scoring 15 a night himself, along with a couple of boards as well. The Blazers are scoring over 117 points a game when they travel. They're also 10-4 against the point spread in those road games. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Portland's last 6 ball games did stay under the posted number. Meanwhile, the Pelicans saw contests with Memphis, Indiana, and Sacramento stay under the line themselves over the past couple of weeks or so. So we went chalk all game. We're going to lean toward an underdog to finish this one off. Give me the underdog Portland Trailblazers plus 3 and the under 236.5. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap, which are all the picks I made for you in this video in about 30 seconds for your convenience. And with that, we're going to lean toward the New York Knicks minus 4.5, under 210. Celtics minus 3, over 224. Sixers minus 11, over 226. Chicago Bulls minus 3.5, over 221. Nuggets -3 over 231. Before I give you my next and final matchup for the show, one final reminder that we are 3-1 in our last 4 NBA tier membership picks on my website. We're also 8-2 in our last 10 $1.99 daily best plays on that same website as well. I'm going to lean toward the Portland Trailblazers +3 and the under 236.5. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some shout-outs to our top 10 YouTube commenters over the past couple of days or so. Shout out to Rafael Luz, I Love Sports, Travis Jones, Jake Owens, Henriquez Jr., Jason Wonderland, Dwayne Shaw, Isaiah Moore, Alan Francis, Pablo, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my good friend, Young News. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Wednesday to you, happy hump day to you, and have a good one now.